Hello wool friends, my name is Rachel and I'm a crofter and a knitter here in Fair Isle, the UK's most remote inhabited island. Fair Isle is a small island about 3 miles long and 1.5 miles wide that lies halfway between Shetland to the north and Orkney to the south. It's home to 45 residents and about 20 times that number of sheep. It's a 2.5 hour boat journey from Shetland to get to Fair Isle, or you can take the small plane, which takes about 25 minutes to get here. I moved to Fair Isle 7.5 years ago and took on the tenancy of Barkland, which is a 25-acre croft that I run myself. I have around 80 sheep, which are a mixture of Shetlands, some Texel Crossers and one Suffolk. Typically, everyone here breeds commercial crossers. That is, they will put a Texel, Cheviot or Suffolk ram to Shetland or Shetland cross yows. These crossers will produce big, fast-growing lambs that will sell well when they're shipped out to the sales in autumn. However, this model never sat too well with me. I really love my Shetlands. I find them beautiful and absolutely full of character and very friendly. So about 3.5 years ago, I made the decision to focus on breeding pure Shetland sheep with a view to breeding as many of the natural colours into my flock as I could do. I still needed my sheep to generate an income, and as a knitter, the obvious solution to me seemed to be to research the possibilities of getting the fleeces from my pure Shetland sheep spun into my own wool, which I could then sell. I really wanted to keep the whole manufacturing process as local as possible and would have loved to get my fleeces spun at Jameson's of Shetland, which is the last remaining spinning mill in Shetland. However, we worked it out and it would have taken me 25 years to save up enough fleeces to meet their minimum weight requirement. Having researched several other mills, I was really excited to discover Uist Wool, based in North Uist in the Western Isles, which is a community enterprise and produces beautiful, beautiful wool. Every summer I clip or shear my sheep. I do it all by hand, by myself, and with over 80 sheep to do, it takes some time to get them all done. I usually try and do between about 6 and 8 a day. The weather plays a very big part in how long it takes to clip the sheep. Each year I try to have them all clipped by mid-July, which is when we start cutting and baling the grass fields to make silage with which to feed the sheep over the winter period. However, you can only clip sheep once their fleeces are dry, and we had such a wet summer this year that I was clipping until September. As you can see, some of the sheep are very relaxed about the whole clipping process. Once I've finished clipping a sheep, I'll roll their fleece up and then take it inside for storage until I can deal with it properly. I lay every fleece out flat, and the first thing that I do is to skirt it. That is, I remove any matted or dirty fleece from especially the areas that would have been around the back end of the sheep. The next thing that I do is to remove any vegetative matter from both sides of the fleece before folding it and rolling it up. After 2 years, I have enough fleeces to work with. So here they are, all ready to be shipped out on the boat to Shetland. I then picked the fleeces up in my camper van. Luckily there was still just enough room for me and my dog, and we begin the journey over to North Uist. Once the fleeces have arrived at the mill, they start their process to become skeins of wool. The first stage is the fear-knot, which opens up and teases out the fleece before it's then washed and dried. The next stage is blending, where different quantities of different coloured fleeces are blended together, which will eventually produce the correct shade of natural colour that we're trying to get. This blended fleece then starts its journey through the first of the carding machines. This carding machine produces a long, seamless, cobweb kind of gauze, which passes overhead, down the other side, and into the second carding machine. From here it goes into the condenser, which separates it into 40 individual strips of wool. The machine rubs the individual threads very gently, producing a kind of unspun yarn, which enables it to be handled for the next stage of the process. The big spools of unspun yarn are then put onto the spinning frame, where they are spun and drafted. Once the tubes are full, 2 or more of them are put onto the next machine, where they are twisted or plied together. The plied wool is then put on the skein winder, where it is wound into individual skeins of wool before being washed and dried again and ready to be sold. I truly couldn't have been happier with the beautiful wool that Uist Wool produced for me. There's no bleaching, no dyeing, these are just the natural shades of the fleeces. All of my sheep have names, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to list all the names from the sheep whose fleeces went into each particular shade of wool. I couldn't have predicted how popular this wool was going to be, and by July this year it had completely sold out. However, in October I took 2 more years' worth of fleeces over to Uist Wool, and I'm anticipating that by April or May next year I should have more skeins and hopefully more shades back in stock. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at my wool journey, and if you'd like to find out more about me or my sheep, then please visit my website, where you can sign up for my mailing list to find out just as soon as I have new wool back in stock. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.